So, let us start today's current affairs. Juvenile Justice Board have denied to treat the juvenile offender under Rian International School murder case. In Rian International School murder case, Juvenile Justice Board, after considering sociological report and psychological report, said that the 16 years old accused cannot be treated as juvenile. His offence is very cruelsome and heinous. So, when the offences are punishable and considered as heinous, then Juvenile Justice Board will verify whether the person, that is the juvenile, who is between 16 to 18 years of age, can actually anticipate the consequence of his crime. They will consider sociological reports and psychological reports and then judge whether the juvenile should be treated as juvenile or as an adult. After Nirbhaya incident, there is an amendment to Juvenile Justice Act in 2015. After Nirbhaya incident, there is an amendment to Juvenile Justice Act in 2015. When a juvenile commits a heinous crime, who is between 16 to 18, Juvenile Justice Board will decide whether he can be treated as an adult or juvenile. Now, Juvenile Justice Board rejected the contention that the accused boy, who is 16 years old, in Rian International School murder case, to consider him as juvenile. This is a landmark decision, and 6 months back also the same thing happened, causing death by negligence. In 304, there is a accident case where death was caused by negligence. In that case also it was said that. Coming back, a new interstellar object was discovered by NASA. New interstellar object was discovered. It is a cigar shaped object like a rock. It is a cigar shaped object and it was with icy interior and with carbon surface. Icy interior and with carbon surface. The carbon surface gives lot of scope for new interventions in science and new discoveries in science, because we all know carbon carry lot of data about the life in the universe, in the other planets also. This was detected by a telescope called, recently by a telescope called PAN STARRS, PAN PAN space STARRS, STARRS. PAN means panoramic survey telescope, panoramic survey telescope rapid response system. STARRS means survey telescope rapid response system. The discovery of this new interstellar object, the first interstellar object, is going to open new vistas in the development of space science and other sciences, which the scientists are very curious. The scientists from Italy, Germany and US are very curious about knowing the new things from this object. You have to read about interstellar object. The name of this object is Oumuamua. OUMUA. The name is after Hawaii. The name is in accordance with Hawaii Islands. OUMUA. OUMUA. This is the name of the interstellar object. The next important current affairs, the editorial today, is about e-way bills. E-way bills. As we all know, GST was already in existence. From July 1st, we have goods and services tax, and now a time have come for e-way bills, electronic bills for the transit of the goods. E-way bills are electronic bills for the transit of the goods. When the cost of the bill is more than, when the cost of the good is more than 50,000, when the transit is beyond 10 kilometers, when the cost of the good is beyond 50,000, when the transit is beyond 10 kilometers, then before the consignment, a bill registration should be made, a bill should be produced. Before the consignment, you should take the bill. Under GST network, it is compulsory. This aimed to ensure transparency in GST collection. Not only that, intrastate and interstate uniformity in taxation. Within the state, from one place to one place, the taxation should be uniform, and from one state to other state, the taxation should be uniform. As you all know, GST is one nation, one tax phenomena. For that, government is thinking that e-way bill will help to make one nation, one tax reliable, and also transparency in taxation system, and also invoice should not be produced in one state, sale cannot be made for another amount in the other state. For all these things, e-way bills are being now under consideration from February 1st, and by June 2018, all the states will have e-way bills, and all the states should produce that, so that uniformity in the taxation structure can be brought. But around 150 items, e-way bills are not required, like jewelry, vegetables, food grains, LPG cylinders, food grains, jewelry, etc., vegetables, we do not require e-way bills. But, and one more thing, in e-way bills, when the transit is less than 100 kilometers, the bill is valid only for one day. When the transit is at 200 kilometers, the bill is valid for 2 days. Even the transit will be very fast, very smooth from one state to one state and intra-state also with the e-way bills. So, there will be fast transport of the goods, speedy transport of the goods from one place to other place with this e-way bills, because the bill is valid up to 100 kilometers only for one day, up to 200 kilometers only for 2 days. Likewise, as per the distance, the bill validity period, time bound period is also given, so that it is far better to have a e-way bill. But again, the problem is that already most of the consumers, even businesses, are facing problems with GST. Without having proper things, again we are introducing e-way bills, and sometimes this might happen. I am selling a good, a wholesaler sold a good to retailer, retailer sold a good to customer, and customer do not want the good. For example, there are 2-3 phases of e-way bills to be produced. It may again create cumbersome process and hardship. It may create cumbersome process and hardship. But the article also says an important point. The point is, already from this quarter, the GST recovery have come down, recovery have come to bleak. Earlier we can see the GST is very good, not just because tax slabs for various goods were decreased, but also GST collection was decreased. If we introduce these type of processes for which we are not accustomed to, like e-way bills, the issue might become further complicated. This is the gist of the article. Next important article is about terrorism and intelligence. As you all know, Haqqani network Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, IS, Boko Haram. Most of the terrorist organizations are working in the international domain, not just the national domain. Unless we have proper intelligence system, we cannot actually detect most of the terrorist activities. Our intelligence and connecting the dot means intelligence agencies will not get the entire data. They have to connect the dots. So, coordination between among various intelligence agencies in the world is also important. For example, CIA, for example, India's RAW, for example, Israel's Mossad. All these intelligence agencies should have a proper coordination to have a better intelligence support. Otherwise, things will not work very fast. So, we need to have a coordinated action in the world intelligence networks and also intelligence connecting the dots issue, all these things. Next important article is about change in Chile. Change in Chile. In Chile, you have seen a right government winning the elections. As you all know, Chile for the first time we have proportional representation was introduced. Sebastian Pinera have become the winner. The choice before him is now, he gave many promises in the election campaign. Labor reforms should be cancelled and corporation taxation should be reduced, and earlier governments welfaristic measures should be cut down. Almost it is something like complete rightist tendency. There is a big task before the new president to Chile to bring more reforms, particularly rightist reforms in Chile. Here the article wrote, in the article it was written that many rightist governments are being followed rightist tendencies in various countries, even in Latin America. Next important article is about Gujarat verdict. Gujarat verdict has a mixed response. We cannot consider it as a Modi's victory completely. At the same time, we cannot consider it as a Congress lost. Congress have a reason to rejoice. At the same time, Congress has a reason to rethink. In the same way, Modi has, the BJP government also has a reason to rethink, because out of 185 seats, around 185 seats, the BJP government got only 99 seats. That shows that people are not completely blind enough to decide about Gujarat model of development. People are not now completely believing in Gujarat development model. So, they have to take a caution on this. This is the gist of the article. A next important article, right turn in Austria too. Right turn in Austria too. Austria is a country in Europe, and in Austria also Freedom Party of Austria along with People's Party of Austria won the elections. Particularly Freedom Party won the elections. Now, if you see, in most of the countries in Europe, right-wing parties are becoming victorious, like Italy, like Spain, like Belgium. In most of the countries, right-wing parties are becoming victorious. Today in Austria, there is commonality in all the right-wing parties. Number one, Euroscepticism. They do not want to be completely involved in the European Union. Though they are the members in the European Union, they do not want to completely get involved in the European Union. Number two, anti-immigrations. Most of the right-wing governments in Europe are anti-immigration. They are following anti-immigration policies. The third important thing is extreme nationalism. Extreme nationalism. All these things, if you observe, right wing is developing in most of the countries in the world from America to Austria. People's Party and Freedom Party. People's Party is being led by Sebastian Kunz, and you all know the Freedom Party also. Both Freedom Party in Austria now got victorious along with People's Party. It's a right wing system now. Let's hope that things go positive. There is no wrong in protecting our country, but it should not lead to xenophobia. We can have our own protectionism, but we should not hate other races or other people from other states. That's very important. So protectionism should not end up in hatred. Okay, these are the important current affairs today.